There's all kinds of confrontations that are going on, a divide. People like to say racism's always there. But to be so loud with it is perhaps another matter. White student calls a black student the N-word and then says, you know what, that's not good enough. Breaks her nose. Let's get into this one. According to the Kansas City Defender, in Shawnee Mission, Kansas, a shocking hate crime occurred at the predominantly white Shawnee Mission East High School, where a black female student was viciously attacked by a white male student. The assault has left her hospitalized with a broken nose, and to add insult to injury, Bree, the victim, now faces suspension from the school for 5 days. The KCD does note the assailant has also been suspended. Well, said the N-word and broke her nose. Why go out of your way? Both teams played hard. Nothing to see here. Except she's in the hospital. How did we get here? You know, some people don't want to talk about how do we get here when they don't like where it's going to end up. I noticed these things. The incident unfolded last week when Bree nonviolently confronted a white female student for using racial slurs and calling black students slaves. After their argument, the white female student walked away, and it seemed the students were peacefully parting ways. We're good, right? However, as they were walking away, a male student previously uninvolved aggressively shouts for Bree to shut the F up. Numerous student witnesses appear surprised and appalled, and Bree responds by asking, what did he say? Male student then charges towards Bree while repeatedly hurling the N-word. Kansas City Defender with the details there. Okay, tough guy. Very tough and angry. When he gets to her, saw that picture, pushes her down, both start throwing punches. The altercation elevated into a full-on fight until some students called for adult support. Witnesses say the boy, a sophomore, started the fight, throwing the first blow at his 2026 classmate. As far as Shawnee Mission East has not directly addressed the hate crime or explicitly denounced it. Following is an excerpt of an email sent out to parents. Quote, as a school and a community, we know that in order for students to learn, they must first feel safe and supported. Staff will continue to do our absolute best to help every student who enters our school feel safe and supported. The words we use matter. Racially charged language, insults, and slurs will not be tolerated in our school. I believe I can make a killing as a PR person. Just really, what are you saying here? It is tolerated. Why are you doing this again and again, day after day? The response from Shawnee Mission East's administrators has been met with widespread criticism from the student body. Many accuse the school officials of failing to address the systemic racism within their halls and also for not directly addressing the recent hate crime. Incident at Shawnee Mission East is not an isolated one. Students report a history of racism at the school, often overlooked, swept under the rug, downplayed by the administration. They recount experiences of being racially profiled and dismissed by school officials, with one student recalling Principal Perez's racist remarks about Black students appearing intimidating or looking like you're going to jump somebody when they are in groups. In response to what they see as administrative apathy, students have taken matters into their own hands. A walkout was organized to protest the school's handling of racial issues. Students' demands, they're clear: stricter policies against racism, the expulsion of the attacker, justice for Bree, and potentially firing numerous administrators. As the Shawnee Mission East community grapples with this incident, the students' actions highlighted growing impatience with systemic racism and the urgent need for change in how schools address these deeply ingrained issues. Additionally, the district is being very tight-lipped about its response to the fight and the walkout, citing the school's privacy policies as the reason its disciplinary actions have not been disclosed. However, district spokeswoman Kristen Babcock, who said the schools do not have a code of conduct for students in place, said that her team takes incidents of racism and physical violence very seriously. She also said they will follow our policies and procedures while investigating. Did Babcock write the statement? Did she write the statement? We don't have a code of conduct for students. So anything goes. Should be a lawsuit, but maybe they get off because what code did he violate? None, perhaps. Wosny, I am so done with the statements and that they're out of. I had a fortune cookie somewhere here, and I was going to open it today because I believe that perhaps it was a good one. And then I take a little bite of the cookie. That's my little thing. And I feel like that's going to, if it's something good, and maybe I'll win the lottery, these numbers, whatever. This is ridiculous. Is it not ridiculous? And I don't even know why I brought up a fortune cookie or what the point was, but I know this, words matter.
Yeah, I think you wanted the fortune of our country as it pertains to race to be changed,
Yeah.
perhaps by the note in your cookie, but I think it's gonna take a little bit more than a delicious dessert to get things going in the right direction. It's gonna take some leadership. And just from that statement, we can tell there's no code of conduct for your students, then there's no leadership, there's no standards set, there's no accountability to be upheld. It's just straight up a free for all. And, to hear a young man, a young student do that, to me, that's grooming, that's breeding, that's being raised to view your fellow citizens a certain type of way. And to also be so violent towards your fellow citizen, a woman, a young woman at that, is scary. You wonder what the parents are doing there. And it's obvious that the students, a certain amount of students, don't feel supported in what they do. I feel heartened, though, that, this student is being supported by her peers. The idea that students themselves put a walkout together in solidarity with the victim here, I find that to be very heartening. And
Yeah.
again, at least one positive to take away from this ugly ass story where this dude is being essentially a KKK member at his freaking high school. And a lot of people don't know this, but Kansas City has a very difficult history surrounding race. A lot of people don't know that. Like they tend to think of cities in like Mississippi and Arkansas and Alabama, but there's a lot of places throughout the Midwest that have difficult racial histories. Not saying it's as bad as it's ever been these days, but the roots are there. And so I'm not surprised that the administration has been caught wrong-footed and isn't being proactive and doesn't know how to handle this right now. I'm not surprised by this, but again, I want to reiterate that it's nice to see that the young people are being the most conscientious here. That's really, really cool and positive to see.
I couldn't agree with you more. And I think you're right. And perhaps in this case, Mr. Positivity, there will be change. But I also think you're right about this young man. Remember that what the description is, everything was kind of dissipated, it broke up. And yet he wanted to be a racist hero.
Just angry, just
and
foaming
just
at the mouth.
And then, the N word, N word, N word, N word. Okay. Remember Dr. Laura? Didn't that get her off the air? There it goes again. Focus. You're probably too young to remember Dr. Laura, but I believe she just kept saying the N word, N word, N word.
I just know
our crack team, they'll figure it out.
Michael Richards from Seinfeld. I remember his
did it too. Remember that?
At the comedy cellar, or the comedy store. Yeah.
That part. But he's still getting paid, I'm sure.
Great show, still. I'm still
great
a Seinfeld
show.
fan.
Right, me too. What they had the one black lady on there. It's New York City. Come on. That's the only gripe I have. This is New York City. This is really.
But we know white people even in New York City don't hang out with us.
Okay.
They like to keep it, you know what I mean? They like to keep it nice and white and right. Come on now.
Okay.